Rookie drafts are starting to happen all over the fantasy football space, and typically this is the time where people let the hype get the best of them. They overdraft rookies just because they want to draft, they want to be involved, and they end up really not improving their team very much. In today's episode, we're talking rookie rankings, not just by each position, but the overall top 20 right now.
Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. We're talking about rookie rankings in this show. A lot of people heading into their rookie drafts and really have a lot of questions, and deservedly so. This is one of the weirdest rookie seasons that we've had in quite a while because there's just not a whole lot of meat on the bone towards the front of these drafts that maybe we've seen here in years past. Sure, there's some talented players, but is there a group of just overwhelming playmakers that are going to make a difference year one? Not so much, and that's really one of the biggest issues with dynasty football, right? We fall in love on draft day because it's the middle of the offseason. We're just desperate for some fantasy football, so we just want to make picks, right? We're making stupid trade offers just to get more picks back, and in this year, I don't know if there's a whole lot of guys that I'm really interested in, trading to get more picks in order to grab them. Now, I'm going to mention in this episode, once we get to the overall rankings, me personally, there's a cutoff for me where I'm going to start selling my first round picks this year. Sure, there's a few guys at the top that I'll take that stab on for sure. But after they're off the board, I really have no interest in the first round, and people are still making some crazy trade offers. I actually have somebody in our Discord that mentioned they received an offer for the 1.01, and they were offered by the other team Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I'm going to take Dalvin Cook. I don't care that it's dynasty. I'm not the type of guy who's worried about winning in 2024. Why? Because I want to win in 2022, 2023, and in 2024. I'm not going to always be building for the future and sacrificing the current, if that makes any sense. So let's go ahead. Let's dive right into it. Let's start off here with our top 10 running backs. Now, I'll go ahead and flash them up here on the screen. Number one, Breece Hall, not a surprise. Number one for a lot of people out there, will be the number one overall on my board here in a few minutes as well. Still splitting a backfield with Michael Carter in an offense that's added some weapons, right? We added Garrett Wilson. We have Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Berrios. We added 2 tight ends to the offense. We've improved the offensive line. It's going to be great overall. It's going to be a huge improvement for the Jets, right? So Breece Hall isn't going to be a guy that just comes out and dominates touches. There's a lot of other options in this offense, so I need to temper expectations just a little bit. He's not going to come in here this year and be Jonathan Taylor-ish, if that makes any sense. However, the talent is definitely there. Opportunity could be slightly capped just due to offensive weapons there in New York, which is weird to say now. Kenneth Walker at number 2 in Seattle. Could see an up and down 2022 with Rashad Penny still there. Technically right now, last year of his deal. Do they just decide to run Rashad Penny into the ground and Kenneth Walker is the future? I really don't want to be overly dependent on having to start and play Kenneth Walker here this season because of that. Number 3, James Cook. Love James Cook. Diet Dalvin Cook is what we can call him because there's a lot of similarities there, but unfortunately he fell to Buffalo, who still has, damn it, Devin Singletary. They got Duke Johnson, plus their running back one is basically Josh Allen in that offense, so he may not get consistent volume. That's why he's at number 3. Number 4, Dameon Pierce. Now, do I love Dameon Pierce? No, I don't love Dameon Pierce. I love the potential opportunity in Houston. The problem is it's Houston, and they're just not that great. They are improving, though, and he really has a lot of busted old farts to beat out on the depth chart. Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead, he could definitely win that role in that offense. Could he be an absolute game changer? Maybe not, but he could see some volume here in 2022. That's why he's at number 4. Number 5, Tyler Algier. Now, kind of hit and miss here, right? I mean, we know Mike Davis is no longer in Atlanta, but my biggest question mark here is not so much the talent of Tyler Algier. It's how much do they really utilize Cordero Patterson in the running game? They've already come out and said they want to utilize him a little bit more in the passing game, and that's great and all. But come game day on the goal line, I could see a little bit more Cordero Patterson, similar to what we saw last year. Maybe not above that, but maybe we lose some of those touchdown opportunities where Tyler Algier is no longer a guy that we can really rely upon weekly. Plus, the offense is going to be hit and miss, especially this year with Marcus Mariota. Is he going to be the guy this year? A lot of question marks in Atlanta, right? If he's going to have an opportunity, he needs to earn it here this year going forward, because starting in 2023, he could have a pretty good opportunity with a much better improved offense there in Atlanta. Number 6, Isaiah Spiller. This guy's got a very great skill set for a very great landing spot, but don't be fooled. Austin Eckler still the guy in LA. All right, now are we going to see Isaiah Spiller? 100%. Absolutely. We've been trying to find somebody else there to spell Austin Eckler for years, right? Justin Jackson just didn't quite work out. There's been some options in that offense, but really nothing that they can rely upon. Isaiah Spiller could be that guy, but Austin Eckler is still going to be option 1 there in that offense. Number 7, Rachaad White going to Tampa Bay. Still has to worry about Uncle Lenny right this second. Not going to see much of the field here this year. They also brought back Gio Bernard. He's going to be a little bit more of a project for a little bit later on, but dude's already getting a little bit older anyway. Number 8, Brian Robinson Jr. Don't hate the landing spot. I hate it for Antonio Gibson, but we also have, besides Antonio Gibson, we got J.D. McKissick there as well. Does Brian Robinson kind of just get stuck with a few, third and short opportunities? We're kind of going to have to wait and see. Not somebody who should see huge volume. That's why he's at 8. Zamir White at 9. Now, we know they didn't pick up the 5th-year option of Josh Jacobs for the Las Vegas Raiders. Does that mean Zamir White is the future? I think he has the talent in order to do it, but we're not going to see a whole lot of it here this year. He needs a few injuries to happen to really get a great opportunity, and if he doesn't and Josh Jacobs come out and produces, I can see them extending Josh Jacobs, and then Zamir White's just buried on a depth chart. And then number 10, Ty Davis Price there, now going to the San Francisco 49ers, a team in which we know likes to utilize multiple running backs in their offense. Sure, Elijah Mitchell got a lot of run last year, but a lot of that had to do with guys being injured, and then he just played so well. I don't think that's their plan going forward. They're still going to have the likes of Trey Sermon. Now they've added Ty Davis Price here, who is definitely somebody who's kind of similar to Trey Sermon in a way. Do they come in there and battle it out in camp for kind of that big back role, that bruiser type back? Because Eli Mitchell, a little bit more shifty, a little bit quicker, but these could definitely be the guys to help get you those short yardage first downs and on the goal line. That's why I got him sitting right here at number 10. Let's go ahead and look at our wide receivers now. Maybe a surprise to some, Drake London sitting here number 1, going to get huge opportunity. For the wide receivers, it's all about early opportunity, and Drake London now in Atlanta with no Calvin Ridley in 2022, really only has Kyle Pitts to worry about as far as a pass-catching position, since we don't really know about Cordero Patterson. So Drake London, the amount of targets he should get, he's at number 1. Number 2, Treylon Burks going to Tennessee. No more A.J. Brown. He basically fills the A.J. Brown type role, but don't forget Bobby Trees is there as well. Treylon Burks definitely a big play type of guy, and he could be in that offense. Number 3, this is where I have Jameson Williams, which is higher than most, but I love the potential game-breaking speed that this guy has and what he adds to the Detroit Lions. Now, I get it. It's still the Lions. A lot of people don't believe in Jared Goff, but this offense is going to be very improved. And if DJ Chark is anything close to what he was in Jacksonville and can really pull some of that defensive coverage, a healthy Jameson Williams could absolutely eat defensive backs alive with the speed that he has. We've seen Jared Goff go out there and throw for huge yardage before in Los Angeles. Now he has more weapons. We know about TJ Hawkinson across the middle as well. Jameson Williams, definitely somebody who can go out there and surprise some people here this year. Number 4, Garrett Wilson, now in New York. Love Garrett Wilson. He's going to have more options in that offense to contend with now. That's why I don't have him, a little bit higher. We have, Elijah Moore, who a lot of people are forgetting about right now. They brought in 2 tight ends with CJ Who's Your Mama and Tyler Conklin. Does Corey Davis really show out? Plus now we have Breece Hall and Michael Carter in the backfield. Love Garrett Wilson, though, in this offense. He's at 4. Number 5, Christian Watson in Green Bay. A lot of people want to hype up Christian Watson, and I don't want to overhype Christian Watson because he went to Green Bay. Don't forget, Aaron Rodgers will write off a rookie in a heartbeat. Any mistakes from Christian Watson, whether he runs wrong routes, he's dropping passes, whatever it may be, Aaron Rodgers will just cross his name off the list and go right back to Allen Lazard. That's kind of where I see this. I like the talent of Christian Watson, but there's always kind of that Aaron Rodgers X factor that worries me with incoming rookies. Number 6, Jahan Dotson going to Washington. Love this, opposite of Terry McLaurin. Do we see a whole lot of offensive firepower in the passing game this year? it's going to be debatable at times, right? I believe with the drafting of Brian Robinson in the backfield and also already having Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic, there's a little bit more focus on the running game to take some of the pressure off of Carson Wentz. Number 7, Chris Olave in New Orleans. I love Chris Olave. I really wish he would have gone somewhere else, right? Because we still don't 100% know how bought in is Michael Thomas. We know Jameis Winston really isn't the quarterback of the future. I don't believe it's going to be Ian Book, who's still on the depth chart there. So what happens in New Orleans' future? What happens with Alvin Kamara? Does he miss any time due to suspension with that, off-the-field assault case that's out there pending? So many question marks in New Orleans. I don't really know how to peg the offense as of right now and really know what the future is going to look like. So Olave's at 7. 8 is George Pickens. I get it. Steelers fans are happy about George Pickens. I don't mind George Pickens, right? I'm not saying the guy's a bad receiver. Was he an absolute need, in my opinion? People want to come to the comment section and like, dude, they lost 3 wide receivers. Yeah, no crap, but they didn't do anything in 2021 with the 3 that they lost. Are you really worried about Ray McLeod? Are you really worried about James Washington, who really wasn't utilized in the offense? What about Juju? He was hurt almost all year. So sure, you lost weapons, but you still have Deontay Johnson. You still have Chase Claypool. You still have Pat Freiermuth. You still have Najee Harris in the backfield. And now you have a rookie quarterback in Kenny Pickett, who's not going to be asked to do too much too quickly in this offense with this many weapons. It's just kind of sketchy, right? But George Pickens, definitely somebody who could have a role in the future, especially if they do not re-sign Deontay Johnson, which is a definite possibility. We know Pittsburgh has a past of doing that, but can George Pickens stay on the field? There's a lot of clips out there of him starting fights. He can't be doing that in the NFL if he wants to be on the field consistently. We don't need a head case in Pittsburgh. Number 9, Sky Moore. Now, a lot of people started drooling, like physically drooling when they saw Sky Moore, go to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I don't hate it, but let's not forget that the Kansas City Chiefs still have some weapons. Sure, they don't have Tyreek Hill, but with Travis Kelce and now Juju Smith-Schuster, they have other options in the offense where it's not just, hey, let's throw the ball down the field to Sky Moore. A lot of people are excited, but I'll tell you why. The number one reason why I dropped Sky Moore down to number 9, it's Justin Ross. He was an undrafted free agent who, in my opinion, had first to second round talent, but he wasn't chosen there because of his injured past. If this guy can stay healthy in Justin Ross, Sky Moore is just going to be somebody that we remember about, oh yeah, there was a ton of hype around him, but Justin Ross is the real deal if he can stay healthy, and that's who I really expect more from in this offense, if I'm being completely honest here, early on in 2022. Number 10, David Bell. A lot of people are like, who the hell is David Bell? Is that the guy that did our taxes? Like, it's what it sounds like, right? Because he doesn't have that stud athlete name, but the dude's a pretty solid wide receiver, had a great college career, and he goes to a situation in which they need receiving options in Cleveland, right? Who else is there in Cleveland besides Amari Cooper? Not a whole lot, right? A definite path to targets for David Bell. That's why he's at number 10. Quarterbacks, only 5 to really worry about. Of course, I have Kenny Pickett at number 1 because he has the shortest path to immediate playtime, right? It sounds like Kenny Pickett's going to get his opportunity this year, where other people, they still have a little bit of controversy of who may start the season, right? Malik Willis, we know that Ryan Tannehill more than likely going to be the starter here this year. Desmond Ridder in Atlanta, they've already brought in Marcus Mariota. They give Ridder an opportunity to kind of sit behind him and learn a little bit. Matt Corral in Carolina, they got Sam Darnold technically. Are we overly pumped about Matt Corral? Probably not a ton. He may get an opportunity, but may not start the season. And then 5, Sam Howell, currently behind Carson Wentz in Washington. I think Sam Howell has an opportunity to win that job, though, in the near future. I would say by 2023, it wouldn't surprise me if Sam Howell is the starter. And if Carson Wentz gets hurt this year, Sam Howell could be the guy going forward. He was totally overlooked on draft day and is definitely somebody that can lead an NFL franchise. Fell into a great situation with the Washington football team. So now let's take a look at the overall rankings, because now we can mix all these guys together. And I'll just run through them real quick. We got Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and this is where I go Drake London at number 3, followed by Treylon Burks, Jamison Williams, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson. Now, after Christian Watson, so you can see that would technically be the 1.07 according to my rankings. After this, if I have a pick in a draft that's 1.08 or later, I'm probably trading it, because people right now will get desperate just to be involved in the first round of a draft, and they're going to go out there and they're going to overpay for these picks. So if I'm 1.8, 1.9, 110, 111, 112, I'll trade it. I'll trade it in a heartbeat, and I really won't even think much about it. I'll get myself a veteran player on my team to either give me more depth, or heck, maybe you can go out there and find somebody who just really wants to overpay because they're huge Chris Olave fans, or they really think that James Cook is going to be the second coming of Dalvin Cook, whatever it may be. You can definitely capitalize on draft day, right? Draft day is the key to this right here, because so many people are going to look at it on draft day and be like, man, I just want to be involved in the draft. I just want to be involved in the draft. And they will overpay for things on draft day. I kind of say it's similar to the San Francisco 49ers situation right now with Jimmy Garoppolo. It doesn't really do them much good to trade Jimmy Garoppolo right now because they're not holding very many of the cards. They don't have that much leverage. What happens if there's a contending team out there in a couple months that loses their starting quarterback for the year due to injury because of a training camp issue? Now all of a sudden the San Francisco 49ers can go out there and charge a king's ransom to a team because that team is in desperation need of a starting quarterback. So it's kind of similar to this. You're going to find guys on draft day who just want to be a part of the action, and they're going to overpay. And you know what we do to guys like that? We take advantage of them on draft day. But those are the overall top 10 here. Let's look at 11 through 20. Got George Pickens, Sky Moore, David Bell. Then I go the running backs: Pierce, Algier, Spiller, White, Robinson, Zamir White. And then one name we haven't touched on yet is Trey McBride, tight end in Arizona. I don't love Trey McBride's landing spot. However, in a position that's so thin in fantasy football, he will have an opportunity in the future, right? They just extended Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is not exactly the poster child of great health. If he misses any time, Trey McBride could get some opportunity in an offense that's going to need some pass catchers because they're not going to have DeAndre Hopkins to start the season. So I threw him in here at number 20 just so you didn't, forget about him. But those are my overall top 20. And then we've gone through each position. I want to know what you think. Everybody's rankings are different. If our rankings were all the same, what would be the purpose in listening to rankings and hearing somebody's opinions about a player? So they're supposed to be different than yours. Maybe you see things differently, and that's cool. Leave the comment down below. Kind of let me know what you see that maybe I'm not seeing, and together we can come up with the best combined rankings as a community to make sure that all of us can go out there and just dominate in 2022, because that's what it's all about. But hey, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. Thank you so much for the support. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you can. It greatly helps us out here on YouTube. And if you're looking for fantasy football content all 12 months of the year, we have you covered. Hit that subscribe button as well. But for now, hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day, a great week. We'll talk to you later.